welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I do apologize for the stream going down. I don't know what happened, but randomly OBS disconnected from Twitch, so the stream just died. So do apologize for that. Shout out to those that did stick around. My apologies to those that we did lose along the way. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. So unfortunately did occur, but it's okay. The show must and will go on, and we're jumping into our final best of 3, the final match of the group stage. The group stage is wrapping up. There is one more spot available in the playoff bracket. Who's it going to be? The Protoss or the Terran? Only one will be able to advance on. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Alkiona, we have our red Terran player from land of Poland representing Sentinels of Mirage. It is Mishu. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Platinum Esports. It is Rutin. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck. Again, this is a best of 3 decider match in Group A. One advances on to the playoffs, the other is knocked out of the tournament. Oh boy, the pressure is on. The show goes on, yeah. A little bit smudged. Again, whether it's connectivity to Twitch or just internet itself, it has been very unstable for the past couple of months. What can we do, Pappy? What can we do? Smudge. Just smudge and move on, I guess. Aye. But yeah, with that, we do see Rodzen checking the main base, just scouting, of course, getting rid of what's going on. We can see it's going to be an economic opener. Racks expand from Mishu, going for the racks into CC on the low ground. Only a single gas opener, so very economic from the side of our Terran player. Winding up back, this is a rematch. Earlier today, we were, of course, casting Rodzen versus Mishu at the start of the broadcast, and we saw Mishu pop off with a proxy fusion core with BCs. He popped off with BCs and it worked. In the end, it did work out quite well for Mishu, was able to start off with a win, and we had a very dynamic back and forth in Game 2 and Game 3. You could argue that the matches did slip through Mishu's fingers, but again, Mishu was looking very, very explosive and very impressive. Was looking very impressive. It lasted 4 in the end, but it went to the ace match. Went all the way to the ace match against Rodzen. We'll see if Mishu can recover. We'll see if Mishu can kind of shore up where he was otherwise faltering earlier in the day. See if he can tighten things up here and bring it home. Otherwise, we'll see if Rodzen can replicate his success and recover and take the series for a second time. Meanwhile, we do have our tech of choice going for a Stargate opener. Interesting. Going to be a Phoenix-based opener out of Rodzen. Probe moving out across the map, trying to get a read on what's going on. Let's get eyes on the bunker. And ooh, Mishu going for a proxy starport. Okay. Interesting proxy location, but the way this works ideally is we're reactoring Hellions back at home and we're getting ready for a medevac drop into the mineral line past the wall, straight into the mineral line. 3 Hellions do one-shot workers, they one-shot probes, and that's all we're gonna need here to wreak havoc in the mineral lines. The other option this could be is proxy liberator. It could be Hellions on one end and the liberator from the other, again to harass the mineral lines and to focus on probe damage. We'll see what we go for as the starport is done. And what's it going to be? The medevac or the lib? Hellions are still building up behind this, getting to our tech labs. There it is. Medevac is the option, is the unit of choice. So we're going for the Hellion drop into the mineral lines, and we'll see if Rodzen can survive and can defend. But now Phoenixes are amassing. Phoenixes are a good way to shut this down because it isn't just about going for the medevac. The medevac is quite tanky and the Phoenixes don't do much damage. It's all about lifting the Hellions. If they can lift the Hellions, if they can deny that one-shot potential, then Hellions are that much more lackluster in these mineral lines. And here we go, the Hellions have arrived. Medevac as well, we're looking to boost into the mineral line. We're boosting into the natural. Or into the main even. Okay. Boost is coming in, hits the natural base. Hellions, they get 1 probe so far. Oh, but here comes the Phoenix, here comes the Oracle as well. And so far this has not been worth it. Hellions, they are going to be dropped in, but they can be lifted. They can and will. 2 probe kills so far, only 2 probes. This gets completely cleaned up. And Mishu's in trouble. Mishu, he's in a bit of trouble here. At least The starport is floating back home, but the medevac has fallen. The Hellions as well. And Rodin shuts us down, and now it's time to counterattack. It's time to move out across the map with Phoenixes, Oracles, and Adepts. Oh boy. Also moving out across the map. Meanwhile, we do see Mishu trying to stabilize. Does have a bunker back at home. Marines are amassing. But the Phoenixes, they bypass the bunker. They head for the main base instead. And they will drag the army away. Keep the attention of Mishu in the main. At the same time, Adepts, they shed into the natural, into the mineral line. It's time to get some economic damage done here. We commit to the shade. And SCVs are going to be going down. 1 so far. 2, up to 3. 3 SCVs denied mining at the natural. Behind this, Mishu building up additional Vaxes. Building up more Vaxes. And then getting into his 5-rack setup. Now I'm curious if we're going to be committing here on 2 bases, or if we do plan on expanding. As Rodin is, of course, taking his 3rd base, getting to his Twilight Council, Robo as well, embracing. I would imagine Charge Lots could go into Stalkers, but typically if we open up Phoenix, and Charge Lots are a little bit more commonplace, as Stalkers have the same role as the Phoenix to deny drop play. Oh my god, as we get into the middle line, 4 SCVs go down, 5 SCVs! And then Phoenixes will escape as well. Aye, aye, aye. Five more SCV kills. There we go. Charges on the horizon. Temple Archives as well. It's going to be Charge Lot Archon for Rodin. And Mishu will eventually break out. But again, I'm curious if he tries to go towards, I don't know, some kind of crazy 1-1 timing with an all-in, or just take a later expansion. As more SCVs are going down. Oh my god. Another 4. Afraid to look, 12 workers in total. And finally, Mishu can move out. He's quite committed here. He's got Stim. Soon to be Combat Shields and Concussive Shell. First Stim is forced out. And back at home, what do we have? We have a Shield Battery. We have a handful of Zealots. Not too much, actually. And here we go. We're rallying everything across the map. It's all or nothing for Mishu. Gets to break this 3rd base. Charge is not done. And the Shield Battery is taking a lot of damage. Some force field, slowing down the army, buying time. Shield Battery is going to fall, no overcharge. And we have to pull the boys away. The base is under fire, and it looks like we can get the Nexus. Yeah, the base is going to go down. Charge Lots are coming in, but it's too little too late. And we drop into the main. Mishu commits to the drop play. Kills the 3rd base, unloads everything in the main base. Uh-oh, and the Phoenixes, they're having a hard time pushing in. A hard time engaging. Too many Marines. And there just weren't enough shield batteries at that 3rd base. Just the 1. In the end, this army's going to be cleaned up, but Mishu is trading quite nicely. Taking down more Zealots. Adepts. Almost a sentry. At the same time, still rallying across the map as well. And the Phoenixes will shut down what little is left. And Mishu should calm down and race back home. The scary thing here is that Mishu still has not thrown down a 3rd CC. There is no expansion. But, I mean, I can say the same about Rodin. 2 base versus 2 base. And there we go. 3rd CC has now begun. Third Nexus now starting off for Rodin as well. Both players knocked down to 2 base economy. And Mishu, with this mass bio army, rallying across the map once again. And without any splash damage, Rodin's in trouble. He has to rely on Zealots. On Charge Lots, we have an Archon. There we go. 3 more Archons on the way. Mishu, can he knock down that 3rd base for a 2nd time? Stimming up the ramp. Pushing forward. Oh, the mine shots. Oh my god. Yeah, they shut down the Zealots. I mean, moving forward. There's no AP. The Archons, they tank a lot of hits. Widow Mines are lifted. But so far, kiting nicely against those Archons. You got 1. Doesn't quite get the other. And Mishu is punished. Has to race back home. OK Mine Connection takes down the Phoenix. But the pendulum swings very quickly from one player back to the other. Rodzen now recovering, fully saturated on 3 bases. Colossus production has begun. And the Phoenix is confirmed the 3rd base is still not thrown down, or not on location. Mishu getting his orbital, but is stuck back at home. Splitting up his army, trying to catch out these Phoenixes. Oh! Gets 1! 2 left. Gets a Phoenix. As again, earlier today, Rodzen, he was flexing his drop play and has been unable to really embrace that yet, but there we go. Drops are now moving out. Again, if you were here, what was it, like 5 hours ago? It's been a long broadcast already. But if you were here earlier, then you would have seen Mishu just pull Rodzen apart left and right. Rodzen even caught Mishu pulled. He was like, mate, what's going on, papi? Just calm down. But Mishu was all over him. And we'll see if we can bring it back to that. Can bring it back as Mishu rotates over towards the right hand side. Army's in position. Archons are keeping up, forcing back Mishu. Is gonna be forced. Like, sorry, I was just checking because like it just hit me. I can't believe we've been casting for 5.5 hours. I just doesn't feel like we've actually covered that much StarCraft. I guess because of the downtime. I guess because of there has been a lot of downtime in between matches. It's flown by, but we go nice EMPs on the Archons. Oh, the Archons, they melt. Oh my god, the EMPs were brutal. But there's still just too much. Despite the Archons falling, the Colossus in the back line, they just snowball out of control. And Mishu has to get the hell out of here, has to pull all the way back home. Likewise, they'll run by the left-hand side. Moving forward. Headed for the natural. Rodzen looks like he's gaining ground. Boys are being pulled into 3 Colossus. You hate to see it. Oh my god! So many SCVs going down. Terran players, look away! Look away, Bobby! 22 SCV kills. The Vikings arrive, but it's too little too late. GG, well played, and Rodzen will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Rodzen, he does take it in the end. Mishu had his own moments, don't get me wrong. He was able to cause a lot of chaos, able to break on through, shut down the 3rd base, but did overextend a little bit and wasn't able to get much more than that. Did take a little bit too long getting into his own 3rd CC, so was never able to take an economic lead or economic advantage. And once Rodzen got into his Colossus, got into his splash damage, there was just not much that Mishu could do to keep up and to hold on. GG, and with that, Rodzen takes the first game. And now we're getting into game number 2. As a reminder, for those that are now tuning in, maybe a little bit later, this is the final series of the group stage. We've been covering the group stage all day so far. Again, almost 6 hours, and we're almost halfway through the broadcast. First the group stage, then the playoff bracket. We're getting there. We are getting there. The playoff bracket is being seeded as we speak. Exclamation mark B, if you guys want to have a gander, have a look at that playoff bracket. And we'll be soon embracing it on the channel after the series. We'll get there. We'll get there. Oh. So here we go. We're getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into Ghost River. Oh boy. We go spawning in the bottom, in the top left hand corner of Ghost River. We have the Polish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, representing Platinum Esports, leading the series 1-0. It is Rodzen. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player representing Sentinels of Mirage. It is Mishu. Currently down in this series. but we know that he can bounce back. If you recall, earlier today we were live on this map, and wait, was it this map? No, never mind. Well, I mean, we were live on this map. I was trying to remember whether it was this map where Mishu had gone for the proxy fusion core, but it was actually on Alkyone, not on Ghost River. It was Ghost River where Mishu was hyper aggressive with Bio, but just barely was not able to break through. But now we're back on Ghost River. We see Mishu mixing things up, going for a double gas opener. As a reminder, last game, the initial Hellion drop was lackluster. It didn't really get much done. It killed 2 probes. That was not enough damage for a Hellion drop. So Rodzen had a much stronger start. Meanwhile, we'll see where Mishu takes us here in Game 2. Now, with double gas, we're going for a faster factory. This could lead into a starport, into a 1-base all-in. Possible. Definitely possible here for Mishu. We saw Angry go for a 1-base all-in earlier today against Trifax. As, oh, the probe takes a lot of hits already. Takes a lot of damage, does get eyes on the factory. And is going to be zoned away. Oof. One more shot. Uno más, man. Oh my god. The probe is getting quite low and the Reaper is going to finish it off. The probe is cleaned up. And it looks like we're not going for the 1-base all-in. We're going to be expanding here on the low ground. Thankfully, Mishu just opening up a little bit more tech heavy with that factory. And Rodzen back at home. Getting into his own depths, soon getting into his tech of choice. I can't imagine we're going for another Stargate opener. I know it worked well in game 1. And there it is. It's going to be a Robo opener instead for game number 2. Robo opener is much safer. A Robo opener leads into faster Immortals, faster Colossus production. The downside of this build for Rodzen is that you do lack harassing potential. There's no Phoenixes, Oracles, Blink Stalkers to move out across the map to shut down drops and to get into mineral lines. Instead, it's just a lot more safe, a lot more defensive here from the side of Rodzen. We saw this opener from Rodzen twice in the last best of 3, so it makes sense coming back to what he does best. A bit of a safer start. And on a small map like Ghost River, it makes even more sense there. So Rodzen just being as safe as possible. Dipping into the natural, delaying the expansion. And Mishu is getting into his 1-1-1. Interesting. Keeping the reactor on the racks. And getting ready for some drop play. Okay. Reaper Scout is denied. I believe Mishu has not seen the Robo. Actually, barely did spot it. Barely. So he's aware. He's aware of the Robo. Getting ready for his own Cyclone drops. Medevac is coming. And Mishu is soon going to move out across the map. And we'll see if Rodzen can keep up. Again, he's going to be lacking Blink Stalkers, going to be lacking Phoenixes. Has to rely on a bit of a less mobile force here to defend. And there's the Bay on the way. Again, we're rushing into Colossus. Early Colossus production. The move out is spotted by the Observer. Rodzen is aware. It's getting ready. Shield batteries in production. Safety Immortal first. That is a late Immortal from Rodzen. Uh-oh. Should have already started by now. Depth goes down. We're down to 4 Stalkers. No shield battery, no overcharge. And Rodzen, he's in trouble. He's hurting. Is being forced back. Boys, they have to be pulled. 1 Stalker goes down. 2nd Stalker as well. 3rd Stalker. Oh my god. The probes, they put in a lot of DPS. They do add a lot of help. And yeah, they will clean this up, but not without losing 5 probes. Not bad here from Mishu. Gets 5 workers. The Immortal pops out, but too little too late to really add any help. Really add any DPS. Again, the Immortal was delayed. And not a bad start for Mishu. Not a bad start. Behind this, going into Banshees. He's going to be tank Banshee here. And we can see that there's a lot of pressure on Rodzen to get some counter damage done. This is risky what he's going for. He's going for a bit of an Immortal drop. Expanding behind it. And we'll see if Rodzen can make this worth his while. Shall see. Runs into the Banshee. Spots the cloak. Not bad. Going for the cancel, but we're 3 seconds off. It's gonna be close. Oh my god. Cloak does complete. And we save the tech lab as well. And the repair is too good. Dropping the main, catching a tank. Oh my god. Not bad. He wants another. He wants it. He gets it as well. Rodson, calm down. Can he get a third now? No, not quite the third tank, but 2 tanks is already a massive win here. A massive catch from Rodson. Meanwhile, across the map, Cloak Banshees are moving in. Cloak is done. And Rodson is somewhat in position. Yeah, we have the Observer in both mineral lines. Stalkers as well. Banshees dip in. Rodson moving slightly out of position. Probes are getting one shots. It's going to be 5, 6 probes, 7 probes going down. Not much more than natural, as one Banshee does fall. But decent economic damage here. Rodson falling behind in the economy, down to 39 probes. But the problem is that Mishu ideally was hoping to go for a move out. He was hoping to go for a push, but now he's down to 2 tanks. He lost half his tanks early on. Ideally, Mishu wanted to punish Rodson, but cannot. There is no 1-2 punch. Instead, forced to expand. Forced to take a third base. Ay, ay, ay. Less than ideal for Mishu. And that means Rodson has time to recover. To recover and to reprobe. Mishu continuing his harass. Not with Cloak Banshees, but with a Raven. Forces a reaction. Banshee, oh, another Raven here towards the natural. Banshee still hidden behind the bases. It's not too bad, getting 3 probe kills. Meanwhile, Mishu does defend his natural. So our Terran player is still getting some damage done. But still keeping Rodson pinned back home. Rodson is trying to recover, now working towards Blink. Again, Blink was delayed because of the robo opener, as I mentioned before. So Rodson still has a very immobile army. It's very powerful, don't get me wrong, especially the main army with 2 Colossus, soon to be 3. But if Mishu goes for some split pushes, then Rodson's going to have a hard time keeping up. So Mishu is getting ready. Auto turret here towards the mineral line. Black Wedge here towards the natural. Meanwhile, Rodson does have eyes on the main army. He has the Observer. He wants to dive in. Waiting for the unsiege.
Mineral field.
Oh, we just go for it. Here we go for the dive. 1, 2 tanks going to be going down. They were left exposed. Mishu taking a rough fight. Does have a lot of Marauders. Will catch the Immortal. Oh, barely not. The Immortal does get away. At the same time, Warp Prism into the main. Massive Zealot Warp in. But the choke point is quite brutal here. Mishu, he holds the line. Banshee towards the natural. Main army breaking out. But there's still just so many Marauders. Such a tanky army for Mishu. And he punishes the move out. Takes down the Immortal. Zealots in the main, they do nothing. And you can see Rodson plummet in army supply after losing so many Zealots. And Mishu is holding his own. Looking solid. Taking down 7 probes, going for the shield battery. Really does get away. And how many Marauders? We have 27. 27 Marauders and 17 Marines. It's an insane army. Although we invested into these 2 Vikings, we thrown away the Prism, even shut it down. And now Mishu doesn't have to worry about a backstab. Doesn't have to worry about a counterattack. And we can focus on the main fight. Sims ahead of time. Sims on 4 takes down the Colossus. And he can just keep going. Just bullying this army. Rodson just doesn't have enough support. These two Colossus, they're so vulnerable. But the Disruptor has arrived. Now, we have seen this kind of game state where Rodzen was down 20, 30 army supply, and with a couple of good Novas, he brought it back. He brought it back, and that's how Rodzen was, at least in one game, able to bring down Mishu and have a comeback. Can he do it again? The Observer does spot the main army. Oh, the Disruptor is coming in! I'm getting deja vu. The deja vu is real. Nova goes off. No looking! Oh my god! Massive connection! This is the beginning of the comeback. Mishu hunting down that Disruptor. He will find it. Disruptor goes down. Ooh, meanwhile, Rodzen is stuck in a bit of a corner. Here comes the main army. The army is spotted. Mishu is coming in. Rodzen, get out of here. Will waddle away. One Colossus almost goes down. Rodzen will escape. At the same time, auto charge here towards the natural. Once again, more probes falling. These Ravens have done so much damage over time. This Raven has 9 kills. The other on 5. Now on 6. So 15 probes in total. Rodzen was being cheeky, but was punished for it in the end. Lost the Disruptor. Main army moves out once again. It is hard to spot that Observer. Instead, Mishu going for a triple drop. Dropping towards the natural. Mishu rotating towards the south. Rodzen, he's ready for it. Yeah, he's in position. Again, we actually mentioned in the last series how Rodzen was acclimating to kind of the pace of Mishu. Like, Mishu was going for a non-stop drop play earlier today. And over the course of the series, it was getting less and less damage. Catch an Archon. No shield battery. No overcharge. Yeah, Mishu gaining ground here. At the same time, main army pushing with the Disruptors. Oh my god. Novas go up. Oh, big connections. Oh my god. And massive connections here on the main army. At the same time, though, the drop into the natural base is breaking through. The main army is struggling, but the harassing force gets into the natural base, forces a recall. And Mishu can take the fight. He does focus down. Oh, one of those Disruptors doesn't quite get it. Gets an Archon. Gets 2. 2 Archons go down. 21 probes as well. But Rodzen does hold. Still has a comparable worker count. 51 probes. Sorry, 54. Mishu pulling back. Still a very tense, very chaotic game state. Could still go either way. That's still 2 Disruptors, 4 Rodzen. And Mishu is splitting has not been ideal. There it goes up. Gets a Marauder. There's now 1 Marauder. Rodzen pulling away. Does want to get surrounded. See Mishu with 2 flanks. With 2 armies. Getting ready to collapse in. As Mishu pushes forward, yeah, sorry. Rodzen pushes forward. Mishu comes in from behind. Gets a Disruptor. Gets 2. And 2 Disruptors go down. Massive pickoffs. Rodzen is in trouble. Has to race back home. It was a trap, Papi. Collapsed in. Novas on cooldown, and even though Rodzen does make it back, did lose a lot of Disruptors. Very nice catch. Mishu taking a 4th, getting to a 5th. Nexus on the way. And Rodzen, he's down to 2 Disruptors, soon to be 4. Another Dune drop, making his way into the natural. Rodzen spots the drop with the Observer. This Observer has been around for a while. Like, it's really paid off here for Rodzen. He's ready. Now, this should be a tell to Mishu. He should be thinking, like, how'd you know where I was? What's going on? Oh no, not again! Oh my god! The Novas, they just keep connecting. Stellar Rama in the natural gets 5 SCVs. The Novas have been brutal. He tries to back up at the same time. The drop gets caught out as well. Rodzen has momentum. Is moving out. Everything quickly going south here for the Terran player. Consolidating his army, bringing everything back together. Once again, he has a flank set up. Rodzen has to be so careful here. And will pull away. Doesn't like what he sees. The potential for surround was there, so Rodzen has to get the hell out of there, has to pull away. The observer once again in position. And Mishu getting caught off guard. Oh. Nova's going off, grazing the army. One disruptor goes down. Meanwhile, double drop into the natural. This time Rodzen not ready for it. And force a recall instead. Nova's going up. Oh my god! How do they keep connecting? As massive detonations. Some disruptors are caught out, but that was worth it. Oh my god. I say that was 5 disruptors. 5 disruptors going down for 16 marauders. Mishu did plummet in supply. And he just keeps on dropping. Just keeps on dropping. We could enter a base trade. He's got mass liberator towards the south. He's got a triple drop towards the north. And Rodzen, his recall's on cooldown. He has to commit. We have to send it. Robo goes down and are we turning around? Now is not the time. Ah, he's turning back home. Disruptor's left behind. Natural base is gonna fall. And now he turns back around again. Oh my god. Nah, he's not looking. The Novas connect. And Rodzen, he's committing. He's committing to the base trade. He has to. And Mishu just barely has an army. Liberator's going for the main. Rodzen pushing into the natural, takes down the Ghost Academy. Does Rodzen have a Nova? He does. Up, Disruptor. Disruptor gets targeted. But plenty of reinforcements, and Rodzen, he's snowballing out of control. He breaks through the natural, pushing towards the main. And Mishu, he has to pull away, pulling the poise even. Oh my god. Pulls into the Colossus. Not like this. Nova's going off. With reinforcements, do we have enough? Barely not. As Rodzen is breaking through. GG, well played, and Rodzen will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the playoffs. GG. The final player does make it through. Congratulations to Rodzen, as he was able to pop off once again with those disruptors. Time and time again, Mishu, he was just focusing elsewhere, focusing on his drops, focusing on just other parts of the map, and we saw Rodzen more than once sneak up on that Terran army with those disruptors, have some cheeky Novas going off, and did catch Mishu with his pants down. Congratulations, Rodzen does take the 2-0, and with that, we have our playoffs confirmed. We have it confirmed. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Let's refresh and catch up. Here we go. Okay, we have our playoff bracket. We have Cristiano versus Bat. Oh, sorry, before I get ahead of myself, it's been 6 hours. It's been a 6-hour cast so far. We have finally finished the group stage. We have Cristiano and Rodzen making it out of Group A. We have Trifax and Aristry out of Group B. We have Art and Geralt out of Group C, and Spirit and Papi out of Group D. We have our top 8. We have our top 8 players for the tournament. We have some Protoss, we have some Zerg, we have one Terran player, the lone Terran Hope and Spirit. Let's go. Last H.4.0.S Galactic Battle, Spirit was not there, so there was no Terran player, but now we have one. We have one Terran, we have 2 Zerg, and a sea of Protoss. Speaking of, scrolling down, we have our bracket. We have Cristiano versus Papi in a PvP, followed by Geralt versus Trifax in a PvZ, Art versus Aristry in a PvZ, and Rodzen versus Spirit in a Protoss versus Terran. Oh boy. We have 4 matches ready for us. These are going to be best of 3s for those that are curious, and all matches will commence at the same time. We have to pick and choose where we're headed. We also have to figure out where the mainstream is headed as well. Oh. Where is the mainstream going? We'll find out. Personally, we already casted a lot of PvPs, even though I would love Cristiano versus Papi, and we haven't casted Papi today. El Papi. We haven't casted him today. I would love a PvP, but we've already covered a lot of it, so it's probably best to like diversify a little bit and jump into a different series. Rodzen versus Spirit. We haven't casted Spirit yet today either, but we just casted 2 PvTs with Rodzen, so we'll maybe focus on one of these PvZs. And I do have faith that we'll be able to cast Spirit later on in the bracket, as Spirit is one of the best players in all of Poland. Is one of the best. Is even a previous House Galactic Battle champion. Spirit was the #1 champion. Cristiano was the #2 champion. Who's going to take #3? Who's going to take it? Oh boy. As yeah, so my eyes are on Geralt and Trifax alongside Art and Aristry. I'm gonna check to see where the mainstream is going, and we might just follow them, depending on where they're headed. Might just follow the mainstream, but we have our playoff brackets. We're gonna be covering the upper bracket quarterfinals first, then we'll cover both upper bracket semifinals, into the upper bracket finals, into the lower bracket finals, into the grand finals as well. Again, we're halfway through the broadcast. Just wrapped up 6 hours of StarCraft 2, and most likely another 6 hours from here. That's typically how we go. Like 10 to 12 hours is usually how long the House Galactic Battle does last. So yeah, let's go. I did just boil some water. I'm probably gonna make a cup of coffee, and then we'll jump in. Then we will jump in. For now, we're going to be going on a break, and when we come back, we'll have our next series. This stream may go down for a moment, as a bit of a heads up. I believe Kuro might be jumping on to handle the broadcast. I'm going to be casting, but Kuro's going to be handling the production, especially as the night goes on. It's the brain power is going to be lacking a little bit, so so Kuro's going to be jumping on to handle the production, and I might be having a bit of a co-cast with Kuro later on for the finals and for the upper bracket finals as well. So won't be solo casting the entirety of the event. But for now, going to be heading off, going to be going on a short break. When we come back, the playoffs will begin. See you soon.